President Joe Biden is asking people to not lose faith in the banking system. This following the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank over the weekend. The failure of Silicon Valley Bank is the second largest bank failure in U.S. history. The federal government ensures that folks have their money protected at this point. WCNC Charlotte's Jesse Pierre joining us to talk about the impacts here. So we've heard those messages from officials saying your money is safe. What do they want people to do here?
Well, right now, lawmakers and financial experts are asking the public not to panic. What they don't want is people running to the bank and taking their money out, because that would lead to a financial crisis.
There was a bank in California that lost a bunch of money, and then a bunch of the depositors got scared. They all went to get their money out. It was a classic run on the bank, and the federal government, through the FDIC, went in 3 days ago and closed the bank.
Silicon Valley Bank, a bank that specialized in startups and loans for tech ventures, collapsed over the weekend. It's being called the second largest bank failure in American history.
Since middle of last year, the tech sector has been contracting. They now realize they overexpanded. So a lot of these investments were not paying off like the bank expected.
Signature Bank in New York was shut down by state regulators on Sunday. The federal government has taken steps to protect depositors beyond the $250,000 insured limit.
The real problem here is what's called contagion, that you get the fear that was developed from this one bank collapsing to all other banks, even the healthy banks, and people go and try to get their money out.
Michael Walden with North Carolina State University says it's important for people to understand it is not a problem with the entire banking system.
The real problem here is what's called contagion, that you get the fear that was developed from this one bank collapsing to all other banks, even the healthy banks, and people go and try to get their money out.
All you need to know today is that your deposits in your bank are safe. That's the mission of today. Make sure that we don't have a run on the banks so that we can have a political debate and not a financial crisis.
Congressman Jeff Jackson says lawmakers will look at the amount of risk smaller and regional banks are able to take.
There were some changes a few years ago that loosened up some regulations that allowed them to take more risks, and I think those changes will now be under extreme scrutiny.
Now, coming up at 6, we speak to a local business owner who shares her concerns about the collapse of the Silicon Valley Bank. Live in Southwest Charlotte, Jesse Pierre, WCNC Charlotte.
All right, we'll see you in a few. Thank you, Jesse.